Hi everyone, we are going to make the Jersey Footprints wine glass today, and you will have in your kit the colors that are needed. The kit comes with a lid, and with this lid you'll use as your palette. I've put out all the colors that I'll be using right now, but as you work you should put out your colors as you go, whatever you need, so that they don't dry out. These colors, these are enamels, and they tend to thicken up or dry out quicker than acrylics or watercolors. First thing I'm going to do is open my little wipe. I'm going to use that just to give the outside of the glass a quick cleaning. You have 2 wine glasses, so once you do a step on one, then you move to the second while the first one is drying. You want to have some paper towels available, and you'll need a cup for water for washing your brushes. And that's all nice and clean and ready to go. I have my water cup here, I have my brushes, and the first thing we'll be doing is working on the top, which is called the bowl. This is the stem and this is the base. And every time you switch colors, you want to make sure that you clean your brush well and squeeze it out with the paper towel. So I'm starting with a clean brush for my next color, and I'm dipping into the dark blue. Same thing. We're going to put about 2 brush widths on here of the ocean. And I'm doing this quick just so you don't have to watch so long. I'm doing this a little quicker than you will. You want to take your time with this. Don't worry about where the sky meets the water. You'll be able to adjust that with the water. Okay, so once you have the water down, brush gets cleaned again, and you'll be moving on to the beach area. Now the beach area, we're using 2 colors. We're using the brown and the white, both on the brush at the same time. Now I don't want it to be too dark, the beach area, so I'm kind of letting it mix on the glass. You don't have to go all the way up to the blue because you'll be putting a surf there later. If you let the blue dry totally, you don't have to worry about it smearing, but right now I'm worried about it smearing, so I'm not going to go up that close. And all the way around you have your beach. So the beach comes all the way down to where the stem starts. And again, I don't want it too dark because later on I'm going to be putting the footprints on the beach and I want them to be seen. Okay, I'm rinsing again. Okay. So I'm moving down to the stem, and I'm going to put a very light coat of the brown, very light, just almost transparent. Same thing on the base, and I'm pulling outward on the base, just very light. I want to have this base for under the greenery that will be added. So you can see I'm pulling the brown towards me from the center of the base, put the stem. Okay, so I'm just smoothing that out a little. And again, I'm not trying to create a dark brown here. I just want to have a very light brown background on the stem and the base. Okay, so I'm going on to the next step. I'm going back up to the top of the glass. I'm going to dip in with the larger brush. I'm working now on the top of the glass, and I'm wiping off most of the paint because I really want to have just a light sweep of cloudiness over my light blue. Not too much. Giving some little white clouds up in the sky. Okay. Put as much as you want. You want a more blustery day, you can put more in. If you put too much white, just go ahead and pick up some of the blue and fix it up. After you're happy with your clouds, you can take the smaller brush, and if you like the scalloped edge top that's on the example, you can use the small brush to just kind of give some scallops up and down. They're like half circles that meet each other. Now, you don't have to do this. You can let the sky stay just as it is for your edge. But if you like that finished scallop look, just go ahead and do it like this. Okay. Now, another thing that I didn't mention in the beginning is if you have an area that you just, need to touch up a little bit, wet Q-tip, and let me find the spot. So I want to clean this area right here up. So I'm just going to kind of wipe that up with the Q-tip, and I'm going to fix that now the way I preferred it. I'm going to fix my scallop there. Okay, so I've gotten my scallops done, and now I'm going into the beach area. I'm going to dab along the coastline here. You want to make sure your glass is dry, the blue mainly, before you do this. And it's okay to let it have some texture. So I'm dabbing. I'm not doing it in a perfect line, making some a little higher, some a little lower, so that we have a more realistic beach line. Surf. I'm creating that little surf. If you get any color on your brush, if you picked up anything, if it was a little wet, just give it a rinse and get back into the clean paint. So you're going all the way around with that. Next step, now in the ocean, I'm going to use the bigger brush, but I'm wiping most of the paint off because I want to get more of a surfy, I want to get more of a lighter dab. I'm going to go into the ocean now and give a little dab here for some waves rolling in. You can put them all around, or you can just put a few. Okay, so you just kind of dab lightly and it gives the effect of a wave rolling in. If you feel like you put too much, then go ahead with your dark blue and touch it up. Okay, so you're putting your waves in. Rinse, rinse, rinse again. I'm going to use the white again to put that bright moon in the sky. It's like one of those days where you have that bright white moon above. And to create a circle, just kind of start in the middle and spin around. So I'm spinning around and my circle's getting pretty big. Okay, so that's my first coat. I'm going to let that dry and I'm going to touch it up later. cleaning my small brush again, and while that's drying, I'm going to move into the beach for the little footprints, and you're dabbing it to just the dark brown, and dot, dot. I'm making those little feet move across my beach. Okay, there you go, my little feet. You're going to do, every time you do something on a glass, you let that dry while you're working on the next glass. For the bottom of the stem and the base, that's where we'll be adding the grasses, the beach grasses. And if you don't like that look, you don't have to do it. You can make your stem any color. You can make this a darker brown. If you want to keep it beachy looking, you can keep your beach. You can have your beach go all the way down. But I'm following the example with the grasses, and I'm dipping into the dark green, and I'm starting there, bringing these grasses. I'm going to use some light, all different strokes. I'm using like a squiggly stroke here. And we'll be building this up, so this is not how it's ending up. Just using these little squigglies all around. And take your time with this. I'm just coming out from the base. And then I'm going to pull up the base with some strokes just like that. And a little bit, I'm pulling a little bit up into the beach area. Some of these grasses. Get these lines up. Pulling up. The lighter you touch the brush to the glass or to anything, anytime you're painting, the lighter the touch, the thinner the line. So if you want the line to thicken up, you go more pressure. If you want it to be thin, you go lighter. So once you feel like you have enough of the dark green, you're moving over to the citron green, which is adding some more interest to the whole glass. I'm squiggling, squiggling, squiggling. When I'm done with the bottom, turning and going up. Squiggly, squiggly. Now I'm just doing a bit the basic strokes here. You'll add more and you'll take your time. I don't want to take my time because we'll be here for 2 hours then. And I'm bringing up a little bit on the stem. I'm going to wash up. You'll be doing your next glass, giving this a little bit of time to dry. While I'm waiting for it to dry a little bit, make sure my brush is nice and clean, and I'm going back to my white circle here, and I'm going to touch that up a little bit. Okay, and I have my circle. While I'm up there, I'm going to do some traditional birds, the kind that you probably learned how to make in school. So in your kit, you're going to have a container with just a little bit of black, because that's really all you need. And to do these traditional birds, I'm going to do a couple on the paper here for you to see. So these are upside down, but you'll get the idea. Swoosh, swoosh. So you're making your birds and your swoosh, swoosh. You want it make sure that you're giving the lightest stroke possible and you don't have a lot of paint on your brush. And I'm also, when I have the brush on my palette, I'm taking a little paint and I'm making sure that it's pointy. Then I'm going on to my sky and I'm going to make my little birds. You want to make sure you're comfortable with this before you do it, so try a few on paper or on a paper plate, whatever you have handy. And I'm moving into the sky and I'm going to do these facing this way and then I'll show you. I'll put a couple. I'm going to go so that's just barely touching. I'm going to do it again. Okay. You want to make them different sizes. That'll make it look like some are close and some are far. Some people like to put a bird for each person in their family. That's fun too. Okay, so I'm going to let that all dry. And the last thing I'm going back to will be my grasses. I'm going to use one more color and I'm going to take some white and a little bit of the green, so that of the dark green. So I have another color of weed in there. Just lightening it up a little bit. Swoosh, swoosh. Okay. Okay. So if you prefer just the two greens, that's fine. Sometimes this adds a little bit more contrast. Okay. So that is your beach glass. Remember, these have to be baked for you to be able to wash them. And you will be setting your oven at 350. As soon as you turn the oven on, you put the glasses in the oven first. Put them down this way so that they're pretty sturdy. You want to put them into the oven on a cookie tray. When you close the door, then you turn the oven on, turn it to 325. You put on a timer for half an hour. You're not letting the oven preheat at all. It goes in, turn on the oven, wait a half an hour, turn off the oven. The glass stays in the oven until the oven's completely cool. You don't touch it. So in a few hours, you open it up and you take them out. You'll be able to wash them. They are supposed to be dishwasher safe, but I would wash them by hand just to be safe. So that's it. You have finished your Jersey Footprints wine glass. I want to thank you for purchasing the kit and watching our video, and hopefully we get to see you in person soon. Have a great day and be well.